I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. We have on agenda item number 3, we have approval of the minutes from the regular board meeting of October 12th. Did you have a concern, Dave?
Yeah, last week, the revenue limit exemption chart was handed out, which then becomes part of the board meeting. And
On 2012-13, we've got an incorrect number, and on 2013-14, an incorrect number.
yep, the board passed the number that was for the October 29 minutes in 2012. And there's a $5,000 discrepancy there. And then 2013-14, there's a $100,000 discrepancy there. So,
And what I would say is this here, Mike David from Nexus prepares this. The minutes that you approved, the 220,000
Is
for
correct.
2015-16 is correct, so that part, but we'll have him correct this chart
right.
in order to
Yeah.
have it. Because I do know that, yeah, that should be 110.5, which Dave is talking about, and then the other one is,
78,662 is what the
Yep.
board approved back in 2012.
so we'll have him fix those.
And those minutes are missing off the website, so I think we need to find those and put those on the website.
Okay.
Also, in reading back the last 3 years, May 27, 2014 never got put in the paper.
Okay.
So we might
Well,
want
you're here
to,
to address
Yeah,
the minutes right
let's-
now.
let's-
So I
Right,
think
but
that
I'm-
you can come and see me about Dave and
well, I'm
have
just,
it done.
I'm just saying.
Well,
I discovered that.
It's not
in
an
my-
agenda item.
All right,
Yeah.
well, we'll put it on there then. Otherwise, I make a motion that we approve the minutes.
I would just like to bring everybody's attention to page 2, item number 4, about the vouchers. If everybody would agree to make the vouchers available to the board instead of not just the treasurer.
That's
Buy
fine.
that? You buy that one?
Sure.
Yep.
And the other thing that you talked about is having a second person and having a schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would put together that schedule, and if you can't, just talk to next person on the list or anybody, so we have it. If you're taking other corrections, under B, the auditor's report, first of all, I think Dave's getting back into making comments and so forth, and I don't know if that was the intentions of the board when they voted to follow Robert's rules, but the last sentence, Ms. Schult also complimented the board for looking at ways to improve our audits and recommend solutions to help eliminate district material weaknesses and significant deficiencies in the segregation of duties common to school districts our size. I don't believe we had any significant deficiencies. At least I'm looking back through her report.
I think it was just material weakness.
It was material
There was
weaknesses.
just one, yeah, just the one.
It was material weaknesses. It wasn't
Not
significant
significant.
deficiencies.
Yeah,
And so
we
I guess
discussed those.
I wouldn't want Mrs. Karnak to be accused of having significant deficiencies.
Yeah.
And then also then the final paragraph there, Mrs. Schult also reminded the board that it was their duty to provide accountability and oversight. Adding and implementing these policies would help eliminate the material weaknesses, deficiencies, and segregation duties, and greatly improve the quality of our audit. To me, it sounds like we've got a bad audit. And I think I heard her say that we had an excellent audit. And so the way it's written, again, Dave, I'm questioning, we're getting into opinion or putting words in people's mouths. And so, again, I'm only going to be here for another couple of board meetings, but the intent of what the board was meaning when they decided to follow Robert's rules, I don't know if this really is. I would question that.
You want greatly taken out and improve the quality of the audit?
That's fine. I mean, my overall question would be is, okay, this whole segment from the auditor's report, again, has opinions from the clerk
No, these are opinions from her that I reported.
But you reported, okay, you
Yeah.
picked and choose. Where's the one that says 40 out of 42 public entities
I-
don't have these kinds of deficiencies?
Common to school districts our
Well,
size.
again, you're picking and choosing. And
Well,
so
it's-
what the
I'm-
board decided to do that night was to eliminate these kinds of things.
Well, I disagree. I think I made
Yeah.
a reasonable summation of what was presented.
But that's up to the board.
And then
If
we've
you
got the
don't-
video or the audio to
Yep.
listen to, so people can make up their own mind.
So, but when you put things like significant
I
deficiencies
reported
when there are
only,
none,
I reported only what she said,
yeah,
so.
it's up to the board. It's their decision. I'm just bringing it to the attention of the rest of the board that this isn't what you decided. So if the board doesn't want to follow their own policy that they set, it's up to them.
I'm following the board policy, so.
So looking for a second?
Are any other
Correction.
corrections or? So we have a motion to approve the minutes. Do we have a second?
I will second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, by no. Minutes are approved. Item number 4 is approval of general fund vouchers 72,750 through 72,823 and wire transfers 151,60108 through 151,60125.
That's wonderful. I will move that we approve those.
We have a motion to approve them as listed.
I'll second it.
We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
All opposed by no. And the motion carries. Do we have a list of any public comment?
Got one back there.
Got one public comment?
Yep.
Thank you.
I'm here to present the petition to the Clear Lake School Board. I'm not going to read the original petition proposal that I think was read here a month ago or some time ago. There is a copy of it in the file that I'll hand in to you. But I do want to read a summary of it, yeah, it'll speak for itself. Summary of the petition to the Clear Lake School Board. Enclosed in this file is a record of 270 people who have signed our petition, either through the Facebook Community Action page, personal letters, or by signing the hard copy of our petition. While there have been some duplications between the Facebook page and hard copies, we have highlighted or put an asterisk next to those names that are in the file here. Originally, we asked for residents of Clear Lake, but it became immediately obvious that alumni, regional friends, former staff, present staff, and others were very interested in our cause. As best as we can tell, it appears about half of these signatures are Clear Lake school residents, and the other half are alumni, former staff, and regional friends of Clear Lake. As you know, the original petition letter is a declaration of no confidence due to unprofessional and inappropriate actions on the part of one or two board members. We urge you to take deliberate actions to restore this board and put a stop to maverick behavior, which is damaging the credibility of Clear Lake schools. No one board member has the right to contact staff or to step into management procedures. No one board member should trample over healthy processes to call or contact students or parents. To do otherwise is to micromanage and create chaos and dysfunction. It must be noted that while 270 people signed this petition, we also received about a dozen anonymous contacts from local citizens and current staff who support us but feared for the loss of jobs or businesses. Our school district deserves better treatment than this. We will continue to monitor your progress. The many people represented by this document are determined to restore the good name of our school district. We will remain vigilant until this board has put back in place respect for our staff, proper procedure according to the management flow charts that are currently on file, and a celebration of your real purpose, which is the success of our students. Sincerely, Randy Dean. I would encourage you, if you are so inclined, you can go into the Facebook, a petition to the Clear Lake School Board. You can click like on there. You're not signing the petition at this point. As of today, the petition is done. And by clicking that, you can read all the comments of the last 3 months. It's been a great adventure. It's been a great discussion. People have been really honest on there. People have spoken their feelings very clearly, and we've only deleted 2 posts, and one was on our side, one was on the other side, and they were both because of bad language. So anyway, here's the summary of our petition, and these are all the original letters and signed comments that we got from people, so I'll give that to you.
Thank you, Randy.
Yep.
Any other public comment or questions? Thank you. Old business. Update on superintendent search. We had 14 applicants, and the board met last Thursday to go over all the applications and resumes. Whittled them down to 6, and we are going to have a first round of interviews this week on the 6 candidates. And then second week in November, at the 6, we'll narrow them down to three finalist candidates. Second week in November, we'll have final interviews. During those final interviews, we'll be looking for participation from the public and our teachers and staff to help us make this decision. So that you'll be hearing about that as that comes up. So please let everybody know that as this comes up, like November 10th, 11th, we have it scheduled for the 10th, but right now, we'll be looking for some input from all of you. And that's about where we're at. Anybody else have anything else? All right. No construction update?
No
I had to
construction
make a
update.
comment. All right, new business, introduction of new staff.
Alicia is not here again tonight, but she is the last one. And,
I think she's this phantom staff.
Well,
You keep
yeah,
telling us
yeah,
about
there
every
you go.
2 weeks.
So we will get Alicia in to meet you guys.
Consideration of a leave request.
Yep. Right behind the vouchers. Brad Air and Clear Lake School District Board members, I'm writing to request a leave of absence from my AM junior kindergarten aide position for second semester, January 25th, 2016 through June 2nd, 2016, in order to complete a semester of student teaching for the UW River Falls Teacher Education Initial License Graduate Program. Thank you, Casey Paulson. Chris, you want to share just a little bit Casey's position? And
Casey's been working, this is her 3rd year as a para in the junior kindergarten room. She's been taking graduate classes on her own to get her teaching license. And so she's at the point where she's ready to student teach. She's actually going to be student teaching in Clear Lake. And so she would very likely be looking for teaching positions when she's done student teaching. However, and she would also like the opportunity to be able to return to her job if that's the case next fall. So I would recommend that we grant her the leave.
Make a motion.
Questions or concerns? Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Dave made a motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Been properly moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed? Thank you very much. Approval of a gift aid calendar coordinator.
okay. Had the position posted for quite some time, and we would like to recommend Megan Ritterpush. Megan is sub for us, how long, Chris? You probably, at your building,
Well, at least 4 years at least.
4 years.
Probably more.
Lives in the community and has a passion actually for gifted and talented, and so we would recommend Megan Ritterpush for that position. It's a salaried position, just like one of our co-curricular.
Full-time, part-time?
It's like a coaching
As
position.
needed?
Yeah,
Okay.
yep. Stipends paid.
Stipend.
Yep. And I believe the stipend's $1,302, $1,302.
Any questions or concerns? Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion.
It's been moved by Dave. Do I have a second?
Sure.
It's been moved by Dave and seconded by Tom. Any other discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed?
Just out of
Review of
curiosity.
juniors, oh,
Just out of curiosity, how many students do we typically serve in gifted and talented?
We
year?
don't put a limit on it, Pete, because we don't use, say, an identifier.
Mhm.
We allow all kids to participate, and so what we're looking for, Megan, is the programs that we can challenge just about any child.
Okay.
And whether it's science, math, spelling bee, all the various things like that. In technology, I know she's got a lot of ideas that she shared with us, and so again, it's not we don't put a number that we limit it, and so she'll be asking for parent volunteers from the community, and different projects, things like that. So, okay.
okay. Review of parent-teacher conferences, Nick?
Middle high school building had parent-teacher conferences first round. We were in the gym, cafeteria style. You can see the numbers there on the handout that I provided. Thank you, Mrs. Nielsen, for counting all these for me, keeping track of that. A couple of people were either coaching or at the elementary doing conferences. We had, according to the tally, there 385 individual conferences, so I thought it was fairly well attended for having a couple of athletic activities going on in the district as well that night.
Okay,
Had the opportunity to meet a lot of parents.
good. Anything from elementary?
We haven't had them yet.
Yeah.
We don't do ours, yeah,
Yeah.
so we switched to, high school
Yeah.
switched to having a midterm a few
Yeah.
years ago, about
Yep.
5, 6 years ago. And so we'll do ours after the end of the first quarter.
All right, approval of 2015-16 tax levy.
Okay, right behind Casey's request, I'm going to start out with just a little bit of history as far as, if you remember, at the annual meeting, we presented a budget and a tax levy and so forth, and said that all those numbers are best guesstimates. And so now we really have one number to come in, and I'll address that later here, the SAGE number, but we have all the other numbers. And so the first one I want to share with you is back on July 1st, we got an estimate of general state aid. And when I presented that to you, and then also at the annual meeting, I said, that's a best guess by the state. And there's a lot of variables this year with vouchers, private school vouchers, charter schools, you name it. I was expecting a worst case scenario. Back in July, they projected $4,589,539, and it came in at $4,548,718. So you can see a difference of about 41,000, just under 41,000. I was thinking last year, if you remember, I believe it was about 95,000 they were off, and so 41 felt pretty good about. And so that's the number that we got to use in our revenue limit worksheet. And so that $4,548,718, if you turn the next page, you've seen this before. Now this is the revenue worksheet, as you can see up on the left-hand side as of October 21st, and the data as of October 20th by the DPI. And so the left-hand column is pretty much all the same. The numbers there from, although we do have the student number actual count, and we talked about the up 10 students, and you can see that our total student count from 587 September FTE to 592, and then with summer school from 597, 603. Again, that's full-time equivalency, and so when you have a number of the, for instance, the 4K program, each child only counts 0.6. And so again, up slightly in student enrollment from last year. And then the evaluation, we talked about at the last board meeting, the evaluation came in higher, and so you can see the 200,660,317 plugged in there. Again, that's the certified number. And then so that information from that side transfers over to the right side again. And as we move down, you can see that per child membership, 9306.26, multiplied times the 609, and actually, I'm sorry, the 5,667,512 divided by 609 gives you $9,306.26 behind each student, and then you multiply that number by the 604, this year's three-year average. And you get 5,667,512. We had the hold harmless, because our enrollment declined over an average of 3 years, we have a hold harmless of 46,531 added back in. We also have a transfer of service for some high-need special education students. Those were there in the earlier estimates. And then the line 10C, that's where the energy efficiency that you approved, the 22500, is there the same. And so then the 215-16 revenue limit, line 11, with all exemptions, 5,985,29. That number, you can see then the total aid to be used in the computation, 15-16, we just talked about the 4,548,718. That's subtracted from the 5,985 to 929, giving you 1,437,211. And so that's the number we cannot exceed in taxation. And so now you can see what that's made up of on line 14A, the general operating fund, and I'll have a sheet later on here. That has the computer aid in there, actually line 18. When we get down to it, it'll be the one that you'll be approving. The 276,013 is the 220,500 plus the current debt that we have for our unfunded liability, Fund 38, and that's 56,013. Let's see, coming down to referendum approved debt is Fund 39, the 686,079. The 20,000 is for community service, or Fund 80. And so when we get down to finally the line 18 is the 1,158,914. That will be the Fund 10 tax levy. And then the all fund levy will be the 2,141,06. And so you can see then the levy rate, 10.66980, rounded to 10.66. And so then I'm going to have you flip another page. So just kind of a comparison of where we were at in the summer and where we are now and where we were compared to last year in the last number of years. So I have the annual meeting projections, and you can see that again the general fund 1,127,427. We're actually for the next one down, the 1,158,914 is what we're proposing. The non-referendum debt staying the same. The debt service going up 31,000, you can see from Fund 39. And the explanation there is, okay, we have Baird do our financial schedule and to help manage the tax levy rate going up and down and all over the place. And also, if I come back to one of the comments the auditors did make about our fund balance, you want to protect that. And so what I'm proposing is, and what with the help of Baird, is we're increasing that debt 30, or the Fund 39 debt service, the $31,000. It will still, as you can see, the proposed levy for 2015-16, 1,158,914 for Fund 10. The total, 2,141,006, is $18,497 less than last year. And so that would be the recommendation is to lower the total amount taxed with the evaluation coming in where it was at, and then also not taxing to the max. We would have a mill rate of 10.66. At the annual meeting, we had projected a mill rate of 10.8, and so we're bringing that down, and we're bringing down also the total amount of tax dollars from last year also. And so that would be the recommendation. The levy would be, when you make the motion, would be for the Fund 10 levy separate, and then a total all-fund levy of $2,141,006. And $6. The chart below, you can see again, just the mill rate history. Last year we were at 11.21, and we're dropping it to 10.66. Questions on that?
What?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I know it's a lot of numbers, information, and putting it all together. I would just say this: we came in excellent position with state aid, and I'm going to point out some other things with some categorical state aid that increased when we get to the budget part of it. But again, for the tax levy, what I'd be proposing is the Fund 10 levy of $1,158,914, total all fund levy $2,141,006, and a levy rate of 10.66.
I will so move.
Okay, it's been moved by Tom. Any questions or concerns, I guess, before we get to the motion?
Can you spell out the whole motion?
Okay, the motion again is
Yeah.
to have a Fund 10 levy of $1,158,914, a total all-fund levy of $2,141,006, and a tax levy rate of 10.66. And what we do with that then, for Dave, Pete, well, for everybody, Lori and I have to run sheets, and it's fairly simple. We feed in these numbers to a DPI website, and it will kick out to us all of the municipalities, their taxes, their portion of the taxes based on the wealth of each municipality. And so we have to have those in the clerk's hand of each municipality by the first week of November. So that's why we do this at this point, at this board meeting.
Okay. We have a motion on the table.
I'll make a second.
And it's been moved and seconded. Any other discussion or concerns? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Very much. Approval of 2015-16 budget.
Yep, and again, this is just an update. In December, we'll have to have a preliminary budget filed with the DPI. And so, but again, as I get new numbers, I like to share them with you. And so right behind the tax levy worksheet, I've got a couple worksheets back from August. And the first one is a revenue limit worksheet. And the second one is just the summary worksheet of all the Fund 10. And first thing to notice just on that, if you go on third page, I've got the revenue limit worksheet for tonight dated 10/21/2015. And if you look down in the very far right-hand corner, you're going to see that revenue-wise, we've got about $56,000 more. And I'll point that out as we go down the sheet here. We'll use this the third page here for you. First of all, under property taxes, you just approved the $1,158,914. That's an increase of $31,500. We already talked about that. Down in the middle of the page, interdistrict transfer, I had $414,000 in there at annual meeting time. That's down $3,000. And so it's at $410,952. So equalization aid payment, because our property taxes were going up and we had less equalization aid, so that equalization aid is $40,821 less. Next line is SAGE, and this one is the one number we don't have solidified yet. SAGE is the program, again, where kindergarten through third grade, we get $2,250 for each child that's on free and reduced meal plan. And the legislators added money to the pool. Before, there was not enough money to fund the whole program across the state. Still not sure if it's going to happen. So this number is actually, we had 90 kids that qualified kindergarten through third grade, free and reduced meals. And so that $202,000 is 90 times the $22.50 that we get for each child. And again, we hope to have that number within the next week or two, and by the time we get to the final budget that we send into the DPI in December, we'll have that number. So that one's still one of the question marks. Sparsity aid, line 627, that number is up $30,000. Again, they appropriated more money for sparsity aid, and sparsity aid, we get the $300 per child across the district. And so that number used to be, it wasn't funded fully, and so it was funded fully. So we actually did receive that number from the state already based on our third Friday enrollment number of 185,100. So that's up 30,000. Down under 751, Title I AIDS. You can see last year was 62,596, and this year I'm showing 75,346. We actually didn't spend the whole amount that we were given last year, just for various reasons as far as expenses with people being gone and having a lower cost person in there. And so we had a $12,000 carryover, almost $13,000. So we're adding it, and there's some things that they're purchasing in Title I. And again, we do have the one full-time person there, but that shows like it's up $13,000. We really didn't get more than what we had in August. It's just that we did have carryover that I added to it. And so that's, when you get down to the bottom, like I say, we're about $56,000 more to spend, which is a good thing. And again, we'll adjust with that SAGE number if we have to when it comes. And so the next worksheet is the summary worksheet for the budget, just to give you an idea where that money's been placed. Okay, under undifferentiated curriculum, that one's up $1,000. We've got, again, from our goals and so forth from the beginning of the year, we've got a number of people going to some workshops and identified for different various workshops. And so I've put again $1,000 more there for elementary people attending workshops. Same thing with regular curriculum as the high school, that's up $3,000. Again, a number of workshop things that we're sending people to meet some of those goals. So those two numbers have changed.
Say, Brad, are you saying the difference in the $1,043,000 from last year?
No, from the fall, or from when I showed you in August.
Oh, I got you.
Just the difference in August.
Gotcha.
Yep, sorry about that. If you go back to, Tom, the second page, and if you just overlaid them, the second page is from August 7th, 2015. So you see 1,575,890, okay. And so then the next one up 3,000, and then gifted and talented. I actually put back, you can see the number of years that we just haven't done a lot of different things, and so anticipating Megan doing a number of things more, I put another $4,000 there. So again, not a lot of money, but from 52 to 92. Then the next area, the educational media area, and again, that's the educational media being obviously library service, but then also our technology services, and we added $12,000 there. Ben, and it should actually have been here, but what he did is help write a proposal to get E-rate dollars, and we were funded at 70% to do some, hey Ben, you got great timing. I just was saying the E-rate that you helped file to get the 70%, okay, it's cost us about $12,000 to pay for $37,000 worth of stuff. And so in that $37,000, Ben, what are some of the switches and points that you, access points, things that you're beefing up our whole system with?
There's core network replacement basically for all the switches for power over Ethernet, whether they're the new voice over IP phones, which now they don't have a plug into the wall, they actually get powered off the network switch themselves. There's also a lot of, I think there's 6 or 7 battery backups. Some of the stuff that was installed for like that door access control and things like that at the elementary, even though they installed them, they didn't put them on any battery backups, so in the event of a core failure, we want to make sure that there's continuity business. All of the network stuff, we had a power outage last Thursday, was it?
Thursday morning.
And the only thing that went down was the phone system, and there's a battery backup for that as well, but other than that, the entire building kept running. There's a new firewall in there, just because ours is 5 years old, upgraded technology. I think that's pretty much the brunt of it.
Yeah. Like I said, good timing. I just happened to hit that one. Then the next one, the district administration, I added 10,000 there for the search, the WSB search, and not that again the whole thing is needed because there's legal services, other legal services, audit. It is just there as a cushion. Again, this can be adjusted as the year goes on, and whoever is in here after January can take a look at that number. But again, just showed you where I placed some of that money. Building administration, $2,000 there. Again, getting Mr. Gillis, Mr. Peterson off with their staffs to some different workshops. And so again, just extra expenses there. Operation, again, $6,000 there, difference there from 608 to 614. That is, again, allowing, again, just an extra cushion. We'll know more by the end of the year as the budget goes on, but the 6,000 comes from all the different things that, and again, it's a question for Ben, but whether it's the software for the phone system, software for the door systems, software upgrades, and then maintenance and warranty as far as if we did have a lightning strike and take things out, it's basically an insurance policy too. And so Ben with the phone system and all these different systems now that are online, just a good idea. And so again, not that we're overspending there, but putting that there just in case the rest of the budget is eaten up, it's there. Transportation, added 7,000 there, and I know that's one area Art will be, and we've got money set aside for a new bus, and so again, just whether it's half out of this year's budget, half out of next year's, we'll see where the fuel price comes in, total in the spring, and but in a position where Art would be able to purchase a new bus. And that's really the differences in this one. You have all the, if you want me to, I can go through the worksheets, but I thought, and I've got them here.
What's central service?
Central service is phones and mail. Yeah, primarily the phones and mail.
So there's another 7 there.
So, yep. So, other questions? Like I say, I can go through the individual ones, but the summary sheet, the 2 summary sheets as far as revenues and expenditures, up approximately $56,000. And again, I will be back with you prior to the first week of December and at the December board meeting and give you an updated one again.
Okay. All right. Any questions, concerns? Thank you, Brad.
It says approval. Do we?
Yeah, you can do approval. You don't, it wouldn't have to be tonight.
So we're just reviewing it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fine.
the final budget we got to approve in
Yep,
December.
in December. And that's the one I submit to the DPI.
All right, future agenda items, anybody have any items they want to put on?
I'll call the auditor and see if she will provide us with she gave us oral recommendations, but I think if we get that on a sheet of paper and get them through and where we've got her recommendations in print, and if we follow her recommendations and they would take the material deficiencies off the audit, then we can formalize that.
Would you be willing to give direction to have Brad call these?
I will, because I've got it written down. I mean, I understand what Tom's asking there, and from her meeting, and we already did the things, Lori and I went through them, and I'll send the copy of what we've already did, because we already ran those. Lori and I did, or I should say I did, because Lori can't run them. I ran them already. And so what I'll do, Tom, is I'll send those to her to make sure that this is exactly what she's talking about.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect.
Good.
Yep.
Anything else?
Can we get the May 27th, 2014 minutes put in the paper? They weren't put in there.
And I'll have to find out from the Chronicle. 'Cause usually Lori sends them to him, so. I don't think that has to be an agenda item.
Okay.
Report back.
Yeah, I'll let you know, Dave.
Okay, anything else? All right, we're now going to move to contemplated closed session according to WSS 1985, considering employment and compensation or performance data of any public employee over which the governing body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, and WSS 1985, considering financial, medical, social, or personal histories of disciplinary data or of specific persons, preliminary consideration of specific personal problems, or the investigation of charges against specific persons except where par applies, of which, if discussed in public, would likely have substantial adverse effect upon the reputation of any person referred to in such histories or data, or involved in such problems or investigations. The board will discuss a job opening, negotiations, and an employee settlement. So, do I have a motion to go into closed session?
Certainly.
Been moved by Tom.
I'll
Do I have a
second.
Second by Pete. I have a roll call. Dave?
Yep.
Pete?
Yes.
Tom?
Yep.
And myself, yes. We are in closed session.